What if humanity's worst enemies weren't demons, but ex-angels? What if the most dangerous rebellion in the universe started in heaven, not hell? The Bible talks about them, but mostly in whispers. They were watchers, but they broke the pact. And what happened next was so dark, they've tried to bury it ever since.
Sentinel angels, created to observe, not interfere, but they crossed the line between realms and sinned, not out of doubt, but desire, not by accident, but by conscious rebellion. Genesis 6 speaks of the sons of God who took human women. The original term, B'nai Ha-Elohim, was reserved for high-ranking celestial beings. When they came down, they didn't bring blessing, they brought chaos, and the result was worse than any war. What came from them? Nephilim, hybrids, violent, twisted. The literal meaning, fallen ones. They were living proof of a heavenly mistake. And since then, the earth has trembled with the aftermath, because when angels fail, portals open. If this is in Genesis, why don't we ever hear it in sermons? The truth's too uncomfortable. It wrecks the peaceful image of angels and exposes a divine error, one that tainted the earth and human bloodlines. Most theologians just skip it, call it symbolic, or ignore it entirely. But early rabbis, church fathers, even the first Christians, they knew this happened, and they knew how dangerous it was, because it still echoes through time. This silence wasn't to protect faith, it was to control the narrative. Because if the watchers existed and fell, then heaven's not static, it reacts. And the spiritual world, it's way more unstable than we think. Ancient texts called them watchers, sent to observe the earth, never to interfere. But they broke that rule, and when they crossed heaven's line, the whole order unraveled. The Book of Enoch lays it bare. They taught forbidden secrets to humans, alchemy, astrology, weaponry, seduction. It wasn't just lust, it was a full-scale spiritual contamination. They unlocked doors God had sealed for a reason. The punishment came fast. The watchers were chained in pits beneath mountains, locked in eternal darkness. But here's the weird part. Some traditions say those pits still exist beneath us, sealed but breathing. Jude 1:6 talks about angels who left their proper place. Peter mentions eternal chains in deep darkness. They're short verses, but explosive. Most folks skim right past, but those lines connect ancient scripture with something forbidden. These aren't random references. They echo straight from the Book of Enoch, where the watchers are judged and bound until the final day. What's wild? Even though it's not canon, Enoch was quoted like gospel by biblical writers. It's like the Bible scattered clues, fragments of a spiritual disaster. Pieces only make sense when viewed together. And when the picture forms, what you see isn't theology, it's a celestial war. Their fall wasn't just ancient history. It shifted the entire spiritual balance. They taught control, rituals, mind manipulation. And today, people still follow those blueprints, thinking it's wisdom when it's corruption. The watchers didn't just fall, they gave form to the forbidden. They made sealed truths accessible. And when spirituality loses discernment, it becomes a weapon. Doesn't matter the era, Wherever there's obsession with the forbidden, their echo lingers. They didn't just birth giants, they birthed ideologies, systems, doctrines. And maybe that's the real danger, 'cause the Nephilim's bodies may be gone, but their ideas still breathe, quietly multiplying. At Qumran, the Dead Sea Scrolls named fallen angels directly: Azazel, Semjaza, Armoros, beings who defiled the earth. But these findings scrubbed from most religious narratives. Sumerian tablets tell of shining ones who descended and talked forbidden knowledge. And in 1948, Ethiopian Enoch manuscripts described sealed gateways, abyssal prisons, and a divine fear of another rebellion. Funny how none of this shows up in school books or mainstream media. But when the dots connect, Bible, Enoch, archaeology, oral tradition, they paint a disturbing truth. The Watchers fell, and the world still pays the price. Maybe the Bible's greatest secret was never erased, just buried, fragmented, pushed to the edges of doctrine. But the signs are still out there, in culture, tech, even our craving for forbidden knowledge. Because wherever angels fell, something was left behind. And those who trace it start to see the real war we're in. If this unlocked something in you, drop your thoughts in the comments and hit subscribe, because the spiritual realm never wanted you to hear this. But here, nothing stays hidden.